Greetings once again. Unpopular opinion. We are back on the couch.
Back. Bless
Greetings, my lord.
Wait.
Yeah, man. Aba ayaleo amlak, Silo Samanzi, Eru Sekem Ankamun, founder and grandmaster of Abakalipibo Kanya. I'm back again with my brother here, Ungaman, Ubab Masego, uzawuzichaza-ke yena. Give thanks, my brother. Welcome once again.
Siyathokoza ukuphinde sibuye ekhaya labantu. Umenzi Maseko, uNgcamane ukhubonye indlovu zidle ekhaya ngokwesela belusi. Kuthiwa Ngcamane ephuma ngaphansi kwentaba inganyama bathi ingonyama ziyakubhongela kanti ziyakunanatela, ziyakuthakazela, ziyakuphelezela. Sikhona sokhuluma ngamasiko noma usikompilo sikhuluma
izindlela zabantu. Yabona amangwane. Ngoba ngihleli nengwane ke namhlanje.
Yebo, ongwane sinabo sibaphethe, bayethe.
Ngasho ngathi le ndaba yokuhlehletela ngelibombo le izophuma ngelinye ilanga. Kanti nani sifihle phansi kwentaba, ibhongelwa ingonyama.
Sasiye entabeni kuthiwa insikane lapha eSwatini le ndaba lena ingonyama zasibhongela ngoba mase njengongcamane surrounded by amakhosi. We are surrounded by other kings and rulers and amakhosi esigodi neinduna nayo, you know. Kodwa ke njengabantu we are everywhere in Southern Africa. Sikhe eSwatini kuphela. Lapha indlovu enyathela khona nathi sikhona.
Hey. Wengcamane. Uthi la indlovu inyathela khona nani nikhona?
Njengabantu as ongcamane as part of the Bantu family, the Bantu family, the Bantu speaking, as they would say, I'm a sociologist. If you go to Tanzania, you will find us. If you go to Malawi, you will find us. Ukhona ubukhosi bakaNgcamane bakaMaseko khona. Uma uya eZimbabwe uzosithola. eSwatini kumanje inkosi yethu Luhleko the third use Lesotho. Ngoba basadingiswa eLesotho. Yabona ubhongela kuphi entabeni zaseLesotho kumanje. Kodwa iqaleni ukawabhongela for 800 years ukawabhonga ngapha ezigodini naseyintabeni zaseSwatini uNgcamane. Kusho ukuthi lapho indlovu enyathela khona, wherever the elephant is found, you will find my people and your people too. Maybe angazi.
This brings us to the topic yanamhlanje.
For sure.
Ukuthi kahle uzeleni la namhlanje and sizeleni la namhlanje.
Sizokhuluma ngesinto.
Sizokhuluma ngesinto. Sizokhuluma ngamasiko. Sizokhuluma ngezithethe. Sizokhuluma ngeendlela zabantu zokuphila. Sizokhuluma ngosikompilo.
Usikompilo, yebo mkhulu.
We are here today and our people in the diaspora. Baningi abantu, many viewers have voiced their concerns ukuthi in a lot of the times when we have to speak about isintu, we use our indigenous tongues, we use our natural languages.
Yeah, so they can't capture.
Now, a lot of the people, and especially our people who were taken away from their homelands, and it's said that even people within our boundaries, mase siqala sikhuluma ngesintu ke phaqa. Mase siqala sithetha ke ngoku. Abasiva. But they are born Xhosa. They are born Zulu. They are born Tswana. They are born Sotho. Now, it becomes a problem in the language barrier.
The barrier.
Ingaki ke ngoku nansi. There are certain other elements of what we are going to talk about today that do not exist in the conscious awareness of Europeanism. Therefore, the English language would be
inadequate
to
carry the message.
Because now you must understand that culture, we'll get to the word culture. Tradition, we'll get to the word tradition. And lifestyle or way of life would be translated as amasiko, izithethe, nendlela zabantu. But let's get to those words to make this point a language barrier.
Yeah.
Culture Now, first of all, English is not a pure language.
Yes, yes.
We agree on that.
Yeah, yeah.
You can even check the dictionary for yourself.
Yeah.
Each word in the dictionary is either a derivative from or is either a manipulation of
Another language.
Okay.
Being brought in.
Now, when you find the word culture, you break it down. Is cult
The etymology of the word.
the etymology of the word now? Cult, ritual, culture. Culture is a cult, ritual. Culture is a ritual
But what is a cult?
practiced by a cult.
What is a cult?
Now, what is a cult?
Definition.
A cult is a group of people.
Bahlangene ngani?
Is
What-
a
what
group
is
of
bringing-
people
What brings them together?
separated
Yeah.
from the greater group amongst which they exist.
Exclusive membership.
It's exclusive membership. You have the Ku Klux Klan in America.
Yeah.
That's a cult.
The cult of white supremacy.
The cult of white
or the
supremacy.
delusion of white supremacy.
You have, let's not go into many cults.
Yeah.
Zokhomba abantu ngamagama.
Yeah.
But there are many cults.
Mormon. No ban.
The
Baningi.
Mormons,
Yeah.
the charismatic
You
Christians.
mentioned the Holy
and
Roman Church the other day. Is it a cult?
it depends which aspect of the Roman Catholic Church you are dealing with.
Oh, okay.
Because now you have the Roman Catholic Church as a whole, and then you have the Jesuits, and then you have the Opus Dei.
Cult within a cult.
And then the cult within the cult, and the secrets within the secrets, and the secret society hidden. You understand? It's a long story. In Africa now, we don't have cults.
Okay.
We do not practice cult
Cultism.
rituals. Okay. But you have groups of spiritual people. Izangoma, Izinyanga,
Initiated.
the initiated, but that's not a cult.
They're not being initiated into a cult. They're
They
being
are not initiated into a cult.
They're being prepared for to
They
live
are,
within
they are
their society.
Okay. They are prepared to live with their gift within society.
You should pin them. Cool. Please.
They are prepared to live with a gift that is inherent in them within a society. First of all, aliko itwasa, and I'm going to say this, not to amatwasa, not to abantu abacabanga ukutwasa, but to abantu abati bona bayatwasisa. We see you, we know you, sellouts.
All. Not all. Is there anyone who's...
Here's the thing. Aliko itwasa elifika kagobela lingenasiphiwo. There is no initiate that comes to a master's house with no gift.
Okay.
You come with the gift.
Okay.
Uza nesiphiwo sakini. This gift is inherent in you.
Okay.
Yinto yakini. The only purpose I exist for as your master is to give you a comfortable, safe
Environment.
Space.
Okay.
for that gift to manifest.
Flourish or to manifest within you.
I'm only a guide. I'm a protector. Because now you are being opened up to other realities that you were never aware of.
And then you can hone and then guide.
And guide.
Kusho ukuthi mawuphupha kanje. Kusho ukuthi
Kusho ukuthi mawuphupha kanje. Kusho ukuthi mawuphupha kanje. We have a problem now about abogobela and inyanga telling you dream about this. No, go and buy it. You dream about that.
Yeah.
No, go and buy it. You dream about no ngiphupha amabhubesi last night. No, kusho ukuthi kumele uyothenga amahiya webhubesi. Hayi ngiphuphe ilanga. No, kumele uyothenga ibhayile la. How about ngiphuphe uDr. Dre? This studio naye. Why don't you say to me as an initiate, gibeli aeroplane uye
Dr. Dre.
uyobona uDr. Dre niyokwenza ibhidi.
Sign a contract.
Do you understand?
Now, $2 million.
My only duty for you as Ugobela, as a master, as a teacher, is to guide you on a path that you were born into. You didn't start to realize your spirituality when you came into my house.
Innate.
It's innate. It's in you. You were born with it. My only duty is to guide you and say, no. Ethically, you do not do that. Traditionally,
akusona isintu ukwenza
ngesintu asenzi kanje. This is how
kakhulukazi mawungumelaphi noma unesiphiwo.
Now, there's an argument yokuthi if ngiyathwasa amandawu and nabalozi and namanzunza and all of these terms that are used, lalela ngitshela, if ungcamane maseko wena and ukhulela kabwabwakho kabo babwakho kini,
ekhaya,
if you are coming from this specific family, the Ngcamane family, and you were raised by your father in your father's family, trust me, for the past 800 years, you were Ngcamane. For the past 1,000 of years, you were Umaseko. As long as you still
I existed
in that bloodline. Unless manje it happened ukuthi somewhere along the line, you took a grandmother's surname because a father figure was not there.
Akalobolanga noma akayanga noma
ubaba akalobolanga, ubaba akahlawulanga, ubaba was never available in your life. Then, only then,
you seek clarity.
Only then, you can say now, lesibongo sakho sebenzayo namhlanje is not actually isibongo sakini. You understand?
Bloodline.
First of all, let's fix this thing. As Bantu Africans, we do not have a concept of a surname.
Even those others say it's the name of your sir. You are sired by.
Aha. Let's get to the etymology now of the word surname. It's your sir's name.
Yes.
It's a European addition to our identity. We do not have a surname.
Okay. All right. Sinan.
Sinamagama. And amagama achaza isigaba ozoshamba.
Okay.
Liina libi kisiromo. I give you a name, I'm actually sending you somewhere to do something. If I call my child Matlakala, rubbish, I am sending that child to perform rubbish acts. If I'm calling my child Unjabulo, I am hoping that child will bring acts of joy into the world. If I call my son Peter, what do I wish to be accomplished?
You want him to be the key to the Roman Catholic secrets.
Okay.
The key of Peter. The Peter key.
Do you understand now where
you're sending him to another cult? You're sending him to another cult.
Culture and Usiko are totally different things.
Okay.
We are still explaining the word culture. Now, culture is cult ritual. It's a ritual performed by a cult.
All right.
Ngesintu, we do not have cults. We do not even have a word for cult. All right. We do perform rituals.
Yes. Some of them secret. See, angithi bisikhuluma ukuthi impilo siko noma usiko impilo lwabantu. Uthe umuntu onesiphiwo is the person who's gifted goes to become not just only initiated but to be guided so that he can live with their gift. But now, in living with that gift,
can you have secret rituals if you are prepared for society?
Okay.
You, as a healer, are being prepared to work and interact within the larger
but
society.
But you're not prepared in public. You are prepared in private. It's almost like a private schooling, this initiation. You get personalized guidance.
Isigodlo senyanga. Akusi umuzi kamaseko.
Yeah.
Once umuzi waba nenyanga, you lose your personal identity.
It becomes a communal space.
It becomes a community space.
A commune.
It's a commune. Anybody can walk into that yard anytime. Now,
but they can't perform
awukwazi uku-imposa usiko lakwaNgcamane
endaweni
communal.
I hear you.
Lento yokuthi, I've heard this somewhere, and this is not to attack anybody personally, but it's just to make a point.
Yeah.
I've heard somewhere, I don't know who said this. I'm not a regular social media follower. Ngihlala emaplazini mina ngazi inkomo, ngazi imbuzi.
Long.
But somebody once said a phrase to me, and I asked, where did you get that phrase? He got it from somebody from YouTube.
Okay.
But I don't know who that person is.
Okay. What is the phrase?
My mpande, my rules.
Okay.
And this is Ugobela who is initiating Amatwas. Lalela ngukutshela. Ayikho inyanga enempande yayo.
Okay.
Right. Indaba yempande started in the early 50s when the Witchcraft Act was imposed on our communities that forced ubunyanga to go underground. And once anything goes underground, trust me, I can pick it up anywhere in the world and say, I do it like this, you do it like that, you have no right to question me. Impande yam. But let me tell you something. Ubungoma is a universal thing. And there are people who think that Ubungoma is specific to black people, to Africans only. No. Ubungoma is what is known in the English language as mysteries.
Not mediumship, things like that.
No. Mediumship and all of that, clairvoyance, clairaudience, form part of the mysteries.
Aspects.
Just like Ubungoma is not Ugugita, is not Izangomes Bulamatambo, is not Amabai Nama beads, is not Yonkelento. Ubungoma is an overall institution.
Of a mystery system.
It's a mystery school system. Okay. Now, you cannot separate it into bits and pieces. Okay. Because let me show you something. Before singena kumasiko nama culture wethu singa bantu. Let's first start with the universality of life on earth.
Okay.
You read the Bible. They tell you about the 12 tribes of Israel, right? The 12 disciples of Jesus the Christ. Asiye Bible, put it aside. You read Mithraism. Zoroastrianism. You read about Mithra and his 12 attendants. You read Greek mythology. You read about Hercules and his 12 labors. You leave Greek. Let's go everywhere in the world. You will find this aspect of 12 elements that are important. Let's leave 12. You read back to the Bible. 7 spirits of the Elohim, the 7 candles before the throne, the 7 stars. Forget that. Asikhuluma isintu. Sineyithunywa zikamenzi eziyikhombisa. 7.
Sithe yini isikhombisa konje ngesixhosa?
Isixhenxe.
Yeah, so
sizofika
I'm going to ask you a question about that.
Yeah, sizofika lapho. Yeah. Now, you go to every other culture in the world, there are these 7 gods, 7 planets, 7 elements.
7 in the musical scale, the 7
octaves, which with the 8th octave that come back to the 12 full scale. You understand what I'm saying?
The 9.
Now, you go and go and go. And then you come back to the 4. The 4 creatures around the throne of God in the Bible. The lion, the eagle, the bull, and the man.
Face, yeah.
You understand?
Human face.
And then you go to the Africans, the 4 mulu around God. You understand? You go the 4 beasts, the 4 creatures.
Can you explain a bit about the mulu? Just a little bit.
We will get there.
Okay, yeah.
We will get there.
Because some people might not know what's
yeah. And then you get to the 3. You get the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit, okay. Christianity.
All right.
You get the God, the prophet, and the people in Judaism. You get God, gods, humans, ngesintu. You get this triune experience everywhere. Now, if you look at fundamental spiritual concepts, you will discover that sonke la emhlabeni we are practicing the same thing. The only difference becomes when we religiousize it. Now, the universality of what we practice is called isintu.
Okay.
That which is practiced by umuntu. There's no mystery there. There's no secret there. Therefore, you cannot perform any ritual for umuntu in secret because isintu lesi osenzayo, it has to affect me as much as it affects you. Umuntu ngabantu. I am because you are, and you are because I am. Therefore, we are. There is one. Now, if we have an understanding of that, we will see ke ukuthi isintu sinye.
Okay.
Usiko lunye. There is only one siko. Now, what does the word usiko mean? Or isiko, what does it mean? It means to cut.
Musikavano. No.
No.
I'm thinking something.
No.
Yeah, but
it means to
cut.
cut.
Just the word came to my mind.
Now, every single human being on this earth was cut from their mother's womb.
Okay.
From the attachment of the umbilicus.
Okay.
There was a cutting that happened. And after that cutting, some 10 days later, a second cutting.
And also, just a bit, you know, when you are speaking about that, I'm hearing levels of uksikwa. You know, before a woman gives birth, in Gesizulu city, we are sikwa. No.
She
is feeling.
This is where now usiko, the meaning, the weight of the word usiko.
Okay. It comes from birth.
It comes from a
pre-birth
feminine experience
of life giving.
Even when you are 50 years old, like some of you know my master Tau is about 70, 80, 90 years old now. He's an old man. You know?
Ancient of days.
Even at his age, his mother is still alive. By the way, that's a blessing. We give thanks and big up to the goddess there. You know?
Creator.
If he comes back home at his age, elimele, umamakhe uyasikwa. Ngesixhosa sithi nimba.
Imihelo.
You understand? Now, usiko, you cannot talk about usiko outside
of ordinary people's actions.
No. You cannot talk about usiko outside the importance of umama.
Of umama. All right, that's what you pointed.
You understand?
Yeah, goes okay.
Now, to understand overall the word usiko, you need to understand where did land okuthiwa isiko comes from. And you will discover that there was not a single male figure who was involved in the design of what we know as isintu today. It was a group of women. Mothers came together and created the social system called isintu.
Ancient mothers.
Mothers who were beyond the age of childbearing, mothers who were great in skill, who were great in Zalabantu. Because they only they have full authority over their children. I don't care, you can be the king of kings,
but mama.
But umama, you have to respect.
The first number and the last number.
In Africa now, this is why you'll understand the confusion with all these practitioners of chematology and Egyptology and all this confusion. You find men calling themselves Pharaoh. Pharaoh is a Greek corruption of the word per-a, P-E-R-A-A-H. Per-a means
the house of
the great.
Oh, the great. Oh, yeah, per-a.
House. Per is house. It's written, is symbol is a block.
Enclosure. Yeah, enclosure.
Yeah, it's an enclosure. It's a block. And then a is a great bird.
Per-a.
So, the great house. And why is it a bird? You see, kukugazi, wings. It is wings that cover the whole. This is why on every throne in the ancient Egyptian pictures, when you see, there is a picture of wings above him. The wings that cover the king.
It's very important what you're explaining.
Those wings are his mother. This is why when you see Isis, when you see Nephthys and Hathor and all these female so-called goddesses,
yes, the principles,
they are winged. Yeah. They have wings. You'll never find a male with wings.
No, I haven't seen one.
Ngoba yikho indoda iskhukhukazi.
You. We are bulls.
Ayikho indoda enegama elithi kazi behind an appellation. The appellation kazi is feminine. But also the appellation kazi means feminine.
Listen to that same word, kazi. Do you see the word kazimula for brilliance?
It's feminine. Because even in the Bible now, this is taking you back to all of us practicing the same spiritual practice. If you read the Bible, but when Solomon finished building the temple, a bright light came out from the Holy of Holies.
Yeah.
That is called the Shekinah in the Hebrew.
And it's a female. It's a feminine spirit.
It's a feminine aspect of God. But now, inkazimulo.
You. Nkazi.
Ukazi. That word.
Shekinah.
It's feminine. Now, endumbeni yenyanga, when you go to a healer's shrine, ufunani, kudede ubumnyama, kuvele ukukhanya, ukuze ukhazimule nawo, angithi? So, moye lapha uthi uye kubobani kubogogo.
Ekhanyeni. Wow.
Now, isiko is deeply feminine. Deeply feminine.
No doubt.
Because it has to do nala wasigwa khona.
Emsukeni.
Usigwe kwamaseko wena ngithi.
At the source.
Therefore usiko lakho elakamaseko. Disikwe emampandleni. Therefore isiko lami lelaphi lelasemampandleni, it cannot change. Let's get to the word isithethe.
Yes. Isithethe.
Loosely translated into English would be tradition. But let's first talk about tradition before we get to isithethe. Tradition is that which is constantly done without thought, without contemplation, without consideration. Amapantsula bavuke ekseni bagcoka all-star, bagcoka sport. It's their tradition. Akulona usiko lakibo kodwa. It's what he does.
That sounds like culture, though, still at the same time. When people talk about hip-hop culture,
this is why now
culture,
you cannot equate culture and usiko.
Okay.
Tradition and isithethe. Now we are just defining the words.
Are these things not interchangeable in a certain level?
They can't. Ifana nani, water is not amanzi.
Okay. What is water if they are not amanzi?
Water is, but it's elements, H2O.
Okay.
Amanzi is something else.
All right.
Amanzi has an etymological connection with menzi, creation.
Yeah.
Because according to our perspective of amanzi, is the place of creation. You can take amanzi, clean water, put it in a cup, and leave it there to sit. Within a week, you'll find a life form.
Tadpole.
You will find a life form there.
Yeah, from bacteria, from the minutest
cell.
Greener.
And you leave it long enough, you will find a life.
But this water
ecosystem
is interacting also with the light. There's something.
This is what I'm saying. Life, according to Isintu, is very feminine. It's not masculine at all.
Light and water.
You will get to the masculinity of it.
Yeah.
So, amanzi
pill
and water etymologically don't mean the same thing.
Wow.
They can't mean the same thing. Because we are explaining a process of life forming, a creation, while they are calling just a mere element.
Just water. Almost scientific.
It's
almost rational.
Umlilo is not fire. In all African languages, umlilo, mullo, murilo, and we can go on. Unokhala, there is a cry. Ugulila, mulhulla.
Even now,
murila. That is mentioned there. What is fire?
That sizzling
what is the
energy.
Sound of fire?
That sizzling energy. That sizzling of
but now you have to now anamotopoically explain what you are trying to
So
say.
isintu
While
describes-
I'm just telling you, umlilo lento,
So
iyalila,
so isintu-
iyalila, kimullo.
Isintu describes things rather than just name them.
We don't name anything.
Yeah.
We don't have just
We
a
have
name.
descriptions of a situation.
Every word is descriptive. Like, yinle.
But itafula.
Right. Akuyona isintu ke, therefore we had no practical application of it. Yinle.
Isihlalo noma isitulo, coming from situlo. I don't know where
Now,
it comes from.
most of it is hlalo.
Yeah.
I can
Uhlukile.
sit on a stone, isihlalo sami lesiya.
Yeah.
I can
Isigqiki.
sit on a esigqikini, isihlalo sami lesiya.
Yeah.
I can sit ecansini,
Yep.
isihlalo
Isihlalo.
sami lesiya.
Yeah.
I can sit anywhere,
Yeah.
isihlalo leso.
What's the
Yinle.
function of the thing? The wood.
Yinle.
Iplango lelo.
Lesihleli kuyo ibizwa.
Sihlele esihlalweni usofa.
Hayi cha,
Ibizwa-
usofa. Nakho
Sofa slash-
couch.
Yeah, it's a couch.
Yeah,
It's a
yes,
couch.
We had no functionality of this because we did not have lounges and
Yes.
sitting rooms.
We did not have to
put
lounge.
couches.
Yeah.
We did not have to lounge.
We're not slouch couch potatoes.
Therefore, we did not have a functional use of it. Therefore, we do not have a name for it. Isihlalo kwaXhosa sithi ngusoze, isitulo sodaka.
Soze.
Yeah, wenza isitulo ngelitshe sifaka udaka lapha, hlala ihleli lento. You cannot move furniture and practice feng shui.
Ufuna ukuhlala ngahlala kodwa ke.
You understand? Ihleli njalo.
Beka isikhumba mawufuna
Ubeka isikhumba, ubeka icansi, ubeka whatever you want to put uhlala.
Fishing, mawuthanda.
You understand? Now, tradition can be anything that is done repeatedly by a certain group of people because they choose to do it.
Okay, all right.
It has nothing to do with isiko labo,
Culture.
but it can have everything to do with their culture, their cult ritual.
Okay.
Their cult ritual is called hip hop.
Yes.
Their tradition will be hip hop.
Hip hop tradition.
What they do,
The
how they
beginning.
speak, how they dress, yonke is hip hop.
It has a beginning, it has a time frame, even a
All
beginning
right.
or an ending.
But now,
Rules.
your father is not a hip hop head. Your mother is not a hip hop head.
Bangabantu.
Your grandparents were never hip hop heads. You cannot say ke
My
usiko
culture.
lakini. It's your culture, yes, but akulona usiko.
It's
This
very-
is why it's difficult to explain certain things in English when they are purely African.
All right.
You understand? But we will try. Now we've established tradition. Let's go to isitete. We said isiko is a female thing. It's feminine.
Its source is feminine.
Isitete, its source is masculine.
Okay.
It's when amadoda ke manje bahlangana phi esibayeni enkundleni and then they discuss how to execute
Certain
isiko.
functions. Yeah. Oh.
This is what isitete is. How now do we execute isiko? Ugogo ulibekile isiko lala ekhaya.
It's more amadoda, they play almost like a strategic function
The
in society.
strategic thing now.
It's leadership, but more on a strategic level.
Ah, where did the command come from?
Comes from Ugo.
From isiko,
From
and
mama.
isiko is feminine. Amadoda now come together, bahlala enkundleni esibayeni, and then they discuss how to implement and
Implementation.
execute leli siko.
It's very loud and clear, King.
You understand?
Fully. I
Now,
understand.
we sit and we discuss. Isiko lithi umntwana mayizelwe. When a child is born, kumele enzelwe imbeleko. Njump certain other stages.
Yes.
Ngijampele straight to imbeleko
General. Eyaziwayo.
eyaziwayo. Umntwana mayizalwa la ekhaya, when a new baby is born here, there must be imbeleko. Okay. Is a usiko lolo. That child must be acknowledged one way or the other. But now, we have to execute that ritual now. How are we going to execute that ritual? As numbers, we are traveling. We don't have a goat. We don't have cows. we are traveling, we don't have a home. Amadoda ke manje have to come together and sit down and say, since we are in this predicament, how then do we create a ritual to fulfill Usiko for this new child? And then there will be decisions of what no, masingena nkomo, let's use a goat instead, because a goat is what we have. If we don't have a goat, let's use, we didn't have chickens by then.
Okay, all right.
Chickens came with the Portuguese. We had guinea fowls,
Yes, impangeni.
you understand? But let's just say for ordinary terms, since we have chickens now, it's our reality.
Yes.
If you don't have a goat, let's use a chicken instead. For the same ritual, you'll hear people saying, if you use 2 chickens, it's equivalent to 4 legs. So it's a goat. If you don't have a cow, if you use 2 goats,
yes,
it's equivalent to a cow.
Yes.
So zizithethe ezo
Yeah.
are things that were set and discussed upon.
They're dynamic in a way.
You understand? And each are different from each family, each household, each circumstance, and each situation.
Very important to note.
It's very important to note because if you mentioned Uti, kunobukhosi bakwaNcamane all the way to Malawi and everywhere.
Tanzania, Congo,
if you go now, Kamasego, Malawi, you have no right to say, nenza usiko la kwamaseko wrong.
Yebo.
You can't.
It's contextual to their situation.
It's subjective.
Yes.
It depends
to their
on
needs
their situation, their needs and their resources.
Yeah.
I cannot say komnyumpandla from somewhere, I owenza usiko lamampandla kahle.
But there are instances where someone is totally diverting and they can be corrected. These things can be corrected.
Mamelage. As I say, isiko is a fundament.
Okay.
Imbeleko is fundamental.
Yes.
What you slaughter ngembeleko, sisithethe, can change based on situation, circumstance, and. But isiko is going to be done nonetheless.
Yeah.
How it's done, that's not important.
It's subjective. It's up to families.
Where do we correct? We correct when people start to say now, it's things of the old people, we don't need to do that. And then you find children who are not grounded. You find children who are ill-disciplined. You find children who are vagabonds and rebels in the
unbalanced.
Street. Unbalanced. Why? Because they have no grounding. Akwenzwanga usiko la asikwe khona was not recognized.
So important.
Okay. Let's remove the importance of amasiko and focus on isithethe only. Modern day society. Ekhaya ayenziwa lento. No, ekhaya singamakholwa, we go to church. So ekhaya, we talked about it, this is what we do. Sistethe.
Ekhaya.
This is the danger.
Particular.
Because nikhulumile kini, yes, you spoke about it, good enough.
Yeah.
It ends it the qualification to be called isithethe. But hayi ekhaya zenziwa lezinto. Hayi ekhaya into zakudala lezo. Hayi thina ekhaya we singamakholwa, we go to church, we pray, we don't practice those things. What happens in such homes? Are they not the ones now knocking at our doors as traditional healers seeking to us? Are they not the ones now coming to our doors seeking us to look for their grandmothers and grandfathers who they don't even know?
Who they chose to forget.
Who they chose to forget, by the way. Because the first thing umuntu mayize kuwendumbeni mochitha amathambo, you are going to be speaking about ukhokho, ugogo, ukhulu, and these people have no knowledge of those people, rendering your service as a traditional healer redundant. Because you are talking about people that are not known by this person. I don't know how many people have come to my ndumba and I've had to say, call someone omdala kini. Make a phone call now and ask about this person. Ukhona ugogo ekhaya awuthi ngifonele ugogo gogo umuntu sona hayi mntana mina hayi bengingasakhulunywa ngalowo muntu lo, and it gets painful now because even ugogo doesn't know about this individual.
This thing reminds me of the act of replacing the things that could be done in the family with things that are done by priests or mediums or things like that. So
that's the danger again. Because many people, they come to me, and I tell them that no, Usiko sola pagin, and I go and do what I know in. Years later, you go to another healer, and but I kumele wenze the very same siko. Uthi no, but ngiyenzile lento. Makathi ubheka amathambo akhe inyanga yonke impilo eliphansi. Nothing is done. Do you know why? Umaseko. And this happens especially ngamathwasa. Abantu abathwasayo. Wakwamaseko. For the past 1,000 years, you've been Wakwamaseko. And even if the name Maseko changed along the line, you are still of that bloodline.
The line is the same.
Awukwazi ukuthwasela amandawu you are never involved with. Awukwazi-ke ukuthi hayi nginamandawu nginaba unedlozi lakwamaseko finish and clear. Done. So uzoza kimi ngiyinyanga ngikuthwasise ngikuthwese amadlozi ongawazi.
Let's bring it to everyday people, Mkhulu. I appreciate people now. Just a second. I appreciate what you are saying about because earlier we were talking about cult and culture. That's how we ended up even speaking about secret type of things.
That's where the
things that are in secret or not secret. Starts now. I want to bring it to the ordinary people, the everyday people who do not go through initiation school in that way. Why I'm saying, I'm talking about the issue of the family and the effect of each family member on society now. Impilo siko yabantu ukuthi our knowledge of izindlela zesintu, or the way of life, that subject of the way of life. How big is it? Okay, let me put it this way. The effect of individuals' behavior, because we have individuals who are diverse, individuals who are taught these things, individuals who are not taught these things, existing together in one community or in one nation or in one country, for lack of better words, right? And as we are existing in this diversity of cultural expressions, traditional expressions, customs, different, even including ideologies, people believe their ideology. Some of them, political especially. If I'm a Marxist or this, I don't do this, I do that, I don't do this, I do that. Where can we find a cultural harmony, or let me just say, social harmony, when people are coming from such diverse cultural backgrounds, so to speak? In the way of life.
It starts here.
It harmonizes.
Every society has leaders.
Yes.
Every society, every community in the world.
The caliber of those leaders?
That's the questionable element.
You take it.
That's the questionable element. But in essence, every society, every community under the sun has its leaders. Whether it's your king, whether it's your priest, whether it's your bishop, whether it's your healer,
authorities.
There is authority everywhere. Now, within that authority, the questionability of the authority now is in question. I see.
What do they base their leadership upon?
In a utopia, it is the leader's responsibility to acknowledge and become aware, first of all, that as a leader, I do not represent me.
Yeah.
First point. As a leader, I do not represent me.
Okay.
I represent an idea. Not a people. Once a leader thinks he represents a people, ego kicks in. Abantu bam laba.
Ungikhumbuza enye inkosi ngapha ngaseSwatini.
Abantu bam laba. Cha akubona bakho.
Abantu bakababa.
Akubona bakini futhi labantu.
Bathi phela isizwe sikababa, isizwe sakithi.
Cha. Isizwe sabo labantu. You are just in a responsible position. You don't represent them, you represent an idea.
Okay.
And that idea is supposed to be transformed and carried by you into an ideal.
Okay, the ideal. society.
I'll make an example. If you study correctly Egyptian history, or what is known as Egypt or Kemet, whatever, you will realize that even with the abundance of gold, the royal family was forbidden by law to wear ornaments of gold if the lowest in the society did not possess gold.
An ounce or a couple of ounces of gold.
If they could not wear gold, you cannot wear gold.
The justice, Ma'at principle.
Ma'at principle.
Yeah. From
All
kingship
must be.
down.
This is why even ngesintu, umntu ngesixhosa, umntu unxiba umbhaco.
Yeah.
Inkosi isafake lambhaco. Ikumkani isanxiba lambhaco. Igqirha lisanxiba lambhaco. In terms of apparel, we are all equal.
The basics of apparel.
Insimbi, the beads. Zinsimbi zesixhosa, ayizonsimbi zamagqirha.
Where the differences happen about Quebec.
It's decorative ornaments.
Okay. Are they decorated according to rank? Are people decorated according to rank? Because
ngokwesintu, which time period?
Okay,
because now beads and ornaments, yes, it is true that ranks are separated by ornamentation.
Yeah, because there were times when not everyone would wear ingwe. There was a time when not everyone will wear leopard skin. Nowadays, every part of Ibuto wears leopard skin.
At the basic, ngati, everybody from the lowest to the highest in the community, in the society, Yamakos, unxiba umbhaco nensimbi as decoration, insimbi. But umxhosa unxiba umbhaco.
Yeah.
Right. Igqirha linxiba imfele zenyamakazi, zenyamazana. Meaning wild animal leather skins from wild animals to distinguish between umntu negqirha.
And their office also.
And their office.
Authority, yeah.
Igqirha ngoba lomba amayeza ehlathini, amaxhwele and all of that, linxiba imfele zenyamakazi. Umntu usebenzisa imfele zemfuyo.
Zasemzini.
This is why ngesixhosa ibizwa impahla.
Impahla. Nangesizulu. Impahla yasemzini sisho kanjalo.
Impahla yasemzini. Sigqoka lapha. Inyanga igqoka le. Umuntu ozingelayo ugqoka le.
Indlela ayihambayo.
All right. Bese ke inkosi, induna, authority. If uyinduna, you're going to wear an animal that represents power, ehlathini, authority.
Yakho. Oh, yeah, ngiyabona.
The animal, the predator that is most feared in this immediate vicinity. That's what you're going to represent. Inkosi, depending on bloodline, depending on the family, depending on the idea that you are representing, you are either going to wear a leopard, a cheetah, a lion, or a black bull, or the sable, the black sable.
The sable.
You understand?
I fully do.
To represent the idea that you are representing. Those who represent heavenly authority, they dress in the leopard. Those who represent intellectual authority on land, speed, they wear the cheetah. Those who represent familial authority, terrestrial authority, they wear the black bull. Those who represent conquering authority wear the lion. And these are the four modes of African royalty.
It's almost like African way of life is a replica of nature. It's like we are replicating nature in its most wisest, or in its most intelligent design, so to speak.
Exactly.
As you are explaining, that's what I'm seeing. African dress code, Afrocentric, for lack of better words, maybe. Afrocentric way of life is a representation or a re-representation of nature in its outlook. Because even when we were talking about the birds, the birds of authority, birds of prey, birds of a feather. When you explaining the word perang, I thought of, is it called Mut? Who's the mother figure?
Insingiza. The biggest, the hugest bird.
Almost like a vulture of type of.
It's bigger than a vulture.
It's bigger than, yeah. So those birds, as you're explaining it, the attributes of the animal, the animalistic attributes. Now you may ask a very good question. You ask about a timeline. Within, mind you, we're living in this sort of called modern time period.
Because to understand
Izinto,
you must understand the timeline.
There's things that will change, there's things that won't change, that will remain.
After the funeral, we have to go and wash the shovels.
A modernization of something old.
Yeah. But nowhere is it found.
Yeah, because we never heard
Maharav in our indigenous tongues.
Okay. Innovation. Yeah, it's ted.
Now, we need to come back. I think when we come back in the second episode, we are actually not going to point out the mistakes, but actually correct the mistakes.
Yeah, so that we can look at the acts.
You understand?
The actions.
So that we can actually fix what is supposed. Okay, akugezwa Maharav wenzwani. You understand? So because now there are certain things that are practiced as isintu. What is itiye? They had high tea. That's British.
Indian even.
You understand? It's not part of our culture. Sisithethe kodwa. So we need to know kunesiko and kunesithethe. And within isithethe there's a danger if it is disconnected from usiko.
Okay. Clear.
We get to now the way of life. English. Izindlela zabantu zempilo.
Indlela yokwenza, indlela yokuphila.
Different from way of life. Bazongixolela abafana nami. Sengisho
general.
Abo German.
Yes,
Ubrasta, it's said to be a way of life.
Yeah.
And true.
Yeah.
Honored. It is a way of life.
Yes.
Ayilo sikompilo. Ayondlela yabantu yokuphila. It's a way of life.
Even though abantu abaphila kanjalo.
Mamela how it gets to that. That way of life, that lifestyle, started with isithethe. How Rastas came together and talked about how they want to express themselves. Which changed over the years. The first Rastas did not have dreadlocks.
Yes.
Dreadlocks came later on. Later on came the covering with the turban. Later on came the this and this and this.
The theology and everything.
You understand? Zizithethe ezo. Which produced what we now know as a lifestyle. But what they spoke about, that tradition, comes from a culture of a group of people who declared themselves to be that which they are. But all these people come from families.
Okay.
And within their families, what they practice is not practiced. You understand?
They've chosen their culture.
That's a way of life. Okay? That's a lifestyle. Ubupujwa, same thing. Christianity is the same thing. You understand? Ubuzalwane is the same thing. When you are a Christian, you're as good as Ipansul.
It's a social agreement.
It's a social agreement.
It's social agreement too.
If you're a Muslim and you're a black African, you're as good as Ipujwa, Umachaivan. It's what you do, it's what you chose. It has nothing to do with who you are. You cannot connect it to you. It's a tradition that came from a cult ritual of a specific group of people who chose to separate themselves from who they are. Therefore, it gave birth to a lifestyle. Is indlela yabantu yokuphila is this ke indlela. First of all, if we break down that sentence, indlela, bathini indlela ibuzwa. All right, so you cannot come with your own ndlela. You cannot come up with a new lifestyle.
It's just a style.
You understand? Indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili. Next, indlela yabantu. We are breaking down the sentence now. Indlela yabantu. What is abantu? Those who came from the stars. Those who came from the stars. Yo kuphila. Yini kuphila, yini impilo. Angithi kunokugula nokuphila.
Yep.
Mawuphila awuguli, mawugula awuphili.
Awuphilile even.
Awuphilile. That's not a style.
Yeah.
It's not a lifestyle. It's not a way of life. It has to do with
being. Yeah. To
now, amasiko, indlela, nezithethe zabantu, it's not what we see today. If we can come back and recollect and remember, sizothi masiqhubeka sixoxe ngayo ke ngishilo ngathi masibuya la sizocorrecta singaloko sikhoma.
What is possible?
Because it's easy to throw stones.
What possibilities do we have of living our life in a culture?
It's very easy to throw stones.
Yeah.
But can you back up what you are saying? When we get back, we are going to start correcting certain things. We are going to go through the rites of passage.
Let it be.
We are going to go through the value systems, Zabantu. And then, if we can, we'll get to the practical application of this.
Practical application.
And then, there's a few books here.
We'll quote here and there.
Yeah. You know, but let's take a break.
Yeah. Siwachitha amanye achithwayo.
Amanye achithwayo achithwe. Nabantu sibanike isikhathi sokuyihlafuna lento sishoyo ngoba manje abanye abantu sizobathusa ngento esikhulumayo because people think they're doing the right thing, and when you actually look at the right thing that they are doing, it's actually the opposite of the right thing that they are doing.
The pace also is very important.
Njengokuzila. Wearing of the black garments.
What's the source?
It's known as isintu manje, but it's not. Uyamangalelwa mongazili. So we'll get back to that. Ncaman, asithi hu. Hayi. Sizobuya siqhubeke.
Beke kwazwakala mkhulu.